guys, it's Nick with the RVing Tradesman. We're back out here on the tailgate of the Ram to give you guys some more tailgate talk. Today's topic is going to be about the weather, and the reason I chose the weather is because we've been having a lot of rain on the East Coast. For any of you guys that aren't on the East Coast, we've had I think 3 feet of rain since the beginning of the year, and that's not an exaggeration, that is an actual number. One of my customers actually has a weather station at their site, and when you walk through the front door they have it set up on a big TV screen there, and it'll tell you year to date total is 35 inches, I think it was 35.8 inches if I'm not mistaken, so we've had a ton of rain. First thing I want to do before we go too far is I want to say that our thoughts are out there with our folks out in Tennessee. I know that they have been getting hammered with rain as well, and they're going through a lot of severe flooding and things like that. So hopefully that'll clear up for you guys shortly. I know we experienced that when Hurricane Florence came through back in, I think it was September that Florence came through. So that's definitely not something that's very fun. And another reason I wanted to do the weather today was because for whatever reason, whenever we go camping, it always seems that I'm setting up in the rain or breaking down in the rain, or I'm driving to a campsite and there's a hurricane moving out of the area. So I've definitely been through just about anything that you can go through weather-wise with the Sonic here. First thing I want to get to is when you're driving in the rain, the fog, the snow, any of those things, you want to keep your high beams off. I don't know why that seems to be an issue in my area. I don't know if they're not teaching that in driver's ed or what the deal is. But I seem to pass people all the time that have their high beams on. Guys, you want to keep those off. That water in the air is just going to reflect back at you, and it's going to make it harder to see. Use your fog lights if your vehicle comes equipped with fog lights. They're going to help you see the lines on the road, which is what you want to be concerned with anyway. They're down low, they're at the corners of the bumper to, like I said, help you see those lines on the road. Another thing, if you guys have light bars or trail lights or anything like that on your vehicle, don't run those in the fog or the snow or the rain. Again, it makes it harder to see. I don't know if this is a common issue everywhere, but it's definitely an issue in my area. Speaking of that, on the way to work the other day, it was very foggy out, and I think I passed 5 cars on the way in that had their high beams on in the fog. So much so that I actually put my phone in the cradle that I have and decided I was going to take a little video of it just to show you guys what it does. So we're going to go ahead and get to that video now. So as you guys can see, that second to last car, I believe, if I remember right, had his high beams on, and you just could not see anything coming towards him, and I'm sure he couldn't see anything going the direction he was going in either. He was nice enough to leave them on for me until right before I passed him, so that was very courteous. But moving on from that, the next thing I want to get to is your tires. Whenever you're driving in the rain or the snow, or whatever it may be, you want to make sure that your tires are properly inflated. You also want to make sure that they have good tread. We want to check the tread, make sure that it's not feathered or anything like that, because what the tread does is it allows the water to get out from underneath the tire. So if we don't have enough tread depth, we can't get enough water out from underneath the tire and we hydroplane. The same thing happens when the tires are overinflated or underinflated. It causes the tread to ride on the road differently and affects how they grip. Moving on from there, we want to check our suspension periodically. And there's a couple of ways you can do that. Really the quickest way to do that, and it's going to tell you the most information, is to just check your tires. If they're feathered or cupped or worn or wearing funny, anything like that, that could be a sign that our alignment is our suspension is starting to get weak, or our alignment may be out. So it's a 5-minute check. Turn your wheels all the way one direction. You can see the tire really well. Turn the wheel all the way to the other direction. You can to where you get the wheel out from underneath the wheel well, and you can see it pretty well. We're going to do a future video on some things to look for in the suspension and stuff like that. So I'm not going to talk too much on it today. The next thing we want to worry about is if we do get into a situation like when Hurricane Florence came through our area, or like what they're experiencing over in Tennessee right now with flooding on the roads. Guys, if you don't have to be anywhere, stay home for sure. But there are times that, you just need to get somewhere, maybe an emergency situation, something like that. Hopefully you're not carrying your trailer with you when you're doing this, but if you are, the rules pretty much still apply the same. First thing we want to do is when we get to high water, if we're moving, we want to apply just light pressure on the brakes to keep the water off the rotor and off the pads. The other thing we want to be sure of that we never do when there's high water on the road is we never want to stop in the high water, and or I should say standing water, not necessarily high water. If there's more than maybe an inch or two of water on the road, you probably don't want to drive through it in the first place. The old turn around, don't drown thing sounds really corny, but guys, it really doesn't take a whole lot of water to move a vehicle down the road. Actually, when Florence came through, I'll give you a quick story. When Florence came through back in September, there was a lady that went around a barricade and her car got pushed off the road, and she actually lost her child. Her child came out of the car seat and drowned. It's an unfortunate story, but it's an important one because it reminds us that, one, we're human and we are mortal, and the other thing is, I mean, my understanding with that story was she was trying to get home, and it would have been 15 minutes for her to go back around the other way, but it's 15 minutes that would have definitely changed her life for sure. Or I guess it has changed her life, either way you want to look at it. The last thing I'm going to recommend is, we talk about how high visibility vests in Tailgate Talk number 2, I believe. I'm going to put a link to that video in the description. If you haven't seen it, go back and check it out. But I carry one of these high visibility vests in the truck because we do a lot of camping in the mountains and a lot of camping in state parks, and in our particular area there's a lot of switchback roads and dark corners and things like that. So if it's foggy out or raining or something like that, I want that high visibility vest on if I do have to get out of the vehicle for whatever reason, because the further away that I can be seen, the safer I am. Not to beat a dead horse or repeat myself or anything like that, but if you look at any construction workers or road workers, anything like that, they all have high visibility vests on, and there's a reason for that. The workers are seen further away, they stay safer, they go home the same way that they left home. And that's really the main point I'm trying to drive home with this whole video. But that's about all that I have for you guys. As always, like, comment, subscribe to the videos. We do have a group on Facebook. It's the RVing Tradesman on Facebook. Check that out. You're more than welcome to join. Get in on the discussions. We have a lot of fun in there. Again, all the links will be in the description of this video. And also stay tuned. I have a couple extra bonus videos I want to give you guys. 2 of them are from when Hurricane Florence came through. I have some video that I shot there, and one of them is from a power plant that I do work at through my company, and it's the fog rolling off of the cooling towers. And they have big, massive cooling towers, and what they do is they cool the lubrication oil for the turbines that generate power. It's a steam turbine plant, so pretty cool. And as always, guys, stay safe out there, and we'll see you on the next one.